because they know themselves better. They will introduce themselves for the presentation. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. My name is Miguel and this is my partner, Herbert Teodoro. There's a little bit about us in the presentation, but before we start, we wanted to say thank you very much for having us. We first came to MAP, ABCDF Foundation, a few middle of last year, because we were interested at how they were, becoming a knowledge base for agriculture and community. Basically, everyone here genuinely cares about the environment, cares about the community, wants to try to help tries to want to help the country. And I've been attending the talks to learn more about what MAP ABCDF Foundation does. And in order to boost what happens with our presentation here, in fact, the last presentation of Mr. Pamintuan was really, really excellent. It doesn't only help us in business, but also the mental approach to the challenges we face. And I'm extremely nervous today because this is around 20-30% more than the usual attendees here. I'm going to start the presentation. Our company is Bamboo Development Solutions Incorporated, but generally, this presentation here, we're trying to veer away from our company and just have an honest conversation about bamboo. A lot of us see this presentation from so many people, on the internet, on the news, from advocates. Oh, bamboo, you can make that. But more often than not, almost all of these presentations, nobody starts anything in bamboo. And I don't think our presentation would be a fire starter or anything. It's just that we want to communicate what we went through. And it's not easy. We put up a company last year. We have experience in bamboo. It's really not easy. But is it worth it? Yeah. So who are we in my company? Our company, I'm the president. Herbie's a managing director and technical director. Herbie's grandmother founded the Philippine Bamboo Foundation, and Herbie used to be technical director of Philippine Bamboo Foundation. Now Herbie runs a farm in Dumaguete where all of our planting material is from. We have around 150,000 planting material for 48 different species. He risked everything to go all the way to Dumaguete. He's originally from here, because he believes in the long-term viability of bamboo, and it has provided for his family and his community. We put up the company to change the paradigm and try to figure out if we could really convince people that bamboo is worth it. The other partners, of course, the funny part is the way we formed our company was our two dads were classmates in military school, and Mr. Ray David and Prudential Teodoro, and they decided to butt their heads, and I think our sons are going to get along. And that's how our company was formed. And then one of our other partners is Ms. Willie Garcia. I'm not so sure if you heard about her. She's the one that transforms all of this plastic waste into furniture, junk now. Okay, basically what the company does, I'm just going to make it really, really fast long. The number one is we provide bamboo planting material. That's the number one, because that's really the issue that we have in the country. The next one is bamboo planting, plantation, and reforestation development services. Bamboo-related community development seminars, bamboo planning and utilization, bamboo construction, and bamboo pole trading is a very, very minor part, because in the end of the day, there's not much supply in the country. So this one I'm just going to breeze through it because I think I want to get to the more important parts of the presentation. Okay, when they made the flyer, actually one part of the flyer was missing. For the younger people, I think they recognize it. It's from Star Wars. And it's a certain line, they made it a book, and basically that line from the actor was from a certain point of view. With us in Bamboo, what we wanted to communicate to the people that are in the seminar is these are our experiences. This is what we went through. We don't know everything. We'd like to get to know. We'd like to get to know more. What we find is truth. We hope you could too. But we know for a fact that until you do it yourself, it becomes your truth. And when I say a certain point of view, this is the biggest problem of. I don't think it's just bamboo. I think it's the entire way all of us are thinking about life and business. Will a long-term businessman survive today? Will the short-term businessman survive tomorrow? It's a challenge when you get into business. Should I be a long-term thinker? Should I be a short-term thinker? And you know what? As much as bamboo is such a long-term thing, you can't deny that there are short-term needs for something to succeed. The presentation, by the way, is, I'm just going to go through a few of the basics. My partner Herbie will be talking about the technical side of bamboo. After that is going to be back to me. We're going to be talking about the political, business, future, and fun side about bamboo. So just a quick fast facts. Some people here are familiar with bamboo, some aren't. Bamboo has a lifespan of up to 120 years. In fact, in Indonesia, some of the bamboo there, black and white photos from the 1800s back. There are 1,575 species of bamboo on the planet. The size of the bamboo, of course, depends per species. And you have 1,000 plus species. The biggest one grows 164 feet. Bamboo flowers, and it's rarely seen. Some bamboo only come up flower after 65 years. But there is another thing about bamboo flowering, and this usually happens in East Asia. Once your bamboo flowers, the entire forest flowers and dies. But it produces seeds, but then you have to grow everything from scratch. And Japan is going through it right now, actually. First time in 60 years, no? 80, then a flower ulit. A bamboo plant reaches the maturity after 3 to 5 years. Bamboo stem is stronger than steel in pencil strength. And like what they were mentioning kanina, for carbon capture, it gives 30% more oxygen. Bamboo plants have the highest tolerance levels in the world, and they were the first plants to read green after the nuclear bomb dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And lastly, bamboo plants can come in different colors. Green, which is the most common. You even have red and blue. And like what they were saying kanina, someone here is a nursery for black bamboo. Okay, I'm going to turn the floor to Herbie. Herbie's just going to talk about planting bamboo and processing bamboo. From there, we're going to go about, day-to-day stuff. Oh, sorry, by the way, we had a seminar last Saturday with Toto Barcelona at his Harvest Education Center, purely on the technical side of bamboo. It took 3 hours. So, well, actually it was budgeted for 2, it stretched to 3, but this one we're going to try to minimize it as possible because our aim here is to help people continue the conversation about bamboo. And if someone can help each other, great.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm Herbie, as Miguel said. Just for everyone to know my background, I'm a 4th generation woodworker that started from Herbert Teodoro in Angkibay. I actually started woodworking and craft work when I was 6 years old. It's actually a prerequisite in our family. Some of us think during our younger days that it was like slave labor. But in reality, it actually made us into, all of us are actually entrepreneurs. None of us in our family are actually employees. So that's a good thing also. In terms of bamboo, I started with bamboo because my grandmother arm twisted me in entering the Philippine Bamboo Foundation. Okay. She's the genesis of why I'm into bamboo right now. And starting in 2011, I moved to Negros Oriental to help out a friend who's also a Dutch national, Frans Korkamp. And I am actually his living legacy in terms of the bamboo advocacy in designs. And I'm grateful for him also for the knowledge and skills that I have now. Well, technically, the way I see bamboo, in my perspective, is I'm growing money. Plain and simple. You plant it today, 2 years, 3 years, you can actually harvest the bone already. And harvest some of the younger poles for handicraft work. On the 6th year, it's all construction material. And I keep on telling this to people that I'm on the side of bamboo na it's not a lifestyle for me. It's a way of life. Meaning, if we stop bamboo right now, we won't have any money in our pockets. Especially for the several families up in the mountains that I've been helping out, and my crew also. That's it. And I know na mamaya pa yung open forum, but I'll start with yung mga questions na iba. Quick lang. What? First one to raise your hand.
Snakes.
Snakes, kanina. Okay, snakes. The only reason why snakes go into bamboo is because of the rats and the mice. But if you maintain your clumps properly and your groves properly, walang ahas. I have more than 5,000 na mature na bamboo clumps inside my farm na 2.3 hectares. And well above 150 plus in my nurseries. Wala kami masyadong ahas doon. The only snakes that we get is pagka the cornfields around us is being tilled or yung kinaingin, dun lang, dumadaan lang. They don't reside in our place. Ayun. Edibility of the species. Go ahead. About 120 species of bamboo we've already eaten. All of them are edible. From the smallest, which is the bagakay, kung tawag dito anos, to the biggest one that we have on the island, which is giant bamboo, nakain na. Even black bamboo, we've already eaten. Ayun. Different bamboo species has different umami, flavor. Ayun.
Do you attribute the different kinds of bamboo to a migration or to voyagers who came to the Philippines and planted it?
Yeah.
To history?
Yeah.
Because why should it be different in the south and why should it be different in the central?
One good example is in Negros Island. Most of the species that we have there actually was brought in by the Javanese, mga Moro. Ayun. That is also one of the reasons why on certain municipalities there are bamboo species that you can find nowhere else that were introduced. Local siya. Ayun. And in Mindanao, it's mostly Malayan. Here naman in Luzon, it's a mix of Malayan, Javanese, Taiwanese, and Chinese. Ayun. So,
where can we access bamboo seedlings? And that's so difficult to find because it will take time to propagate with the cuttings.
yeah.
Where can we access volume of seedlings?
We have
Yeah, where?
in Negros Oriental.
So we have to go to Negros?
No, we actually ship it here. We've already established plantations here.
Okay.
And
You can order from the internet.
go ahead.
You can order directly from you.
Yeah, directly from us. Then it's not only the planting material that we actually provide. It's actually the service also of setting up the plantations themselves. And let's say in the worst case scenario, kulangan kami or what? It's not well, let me rephrase that. We don't like to monopolize the bamboo seedling business. Doing Padilla is here. Mr. Cristobal is here. I know they're propagating. And we can actually talk later and actually, it's actually easier and more efficient na we get their bamboo stocks from them to establish plantations. Why not? Because right now the bamboo industry here is just a cluster of small cottage industries. It's not a true industry at the moment. So there's a lot of room to grow and there's no point in being selfish. And it's a perpetual crop. I'm doing this not for me. I'm doing this for my son. Because he wants to become a bamboo craftsman and bamboo farmer just like me. So I have to up my game for the sake of my son.
It grows better on the riverside, no?
It's resilient. So I have planted during my tenure with in the Philippine Bamboo Foundation. I planted at the bottom of Santo Niño mines in Benguet. And walang lupa. It thrived. I planted in Lahar areas in Bora and Bamban. It thrived. You just have to let it be. You have to take care of it for a few years just for the root systems to be well established, and from then on, it will actually eventually take care of you.
About arid areas? Arid areas?
No problem. Even high salinity, walang problema.
Currently, how many hectares of land is being planted in the Philippines?
There's actually no concrete documentation about that. The best that I know that has that information in a particular province is Negros Occidental. During the term of Philippine, they have, per municipality, they actually invested the time and money to roadmap the entire Negros Occidental. But if you ask yung sa Negros Oriental, Siquijor, Bohol, there's none whatsoever. So, if you want to build a bamboo plantation, we'll help you. If you need assistance in marketing, we'll help you. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, question. I have a friend in Samar.
Which part, sir?
Lorente,
Okay.
Pacific side.
Yeah.
Now, that area, the whole area gets hammered.
Yes, I understand. I have friends in Giwan.
The problem is they put up a cow plantation.
Hmm.
It was destroyed.
Yes.
Is it would bamboo, can it be used to shelter the orchard?
Yes. Both coffee and cacao. And buongon, which is pomelo. Because those are not, those are understory species. Meaning they actually love high canopy species beside it. They actually produce more. In terms of windbreakers, yes. My entire farm is actually surrounded by kawayan tinik, 2 lines. And I have a road in the middle so it's easy access to any part of my property. We have been battered for the past, since 2011. But through, may nababali ng mga kawayan, but none of our structures got destroyed.
So what you have are what the giant bamboo or?
I have 14 species. So what we do is we do not, we actually recommend certain species that's good for, that can actually thrive in a particular environment. We don't just stick to one kind of species because, for example, you like giant bamboo, but giant bamboo can only grow to its maximum potential at a certain elevation and certain moisture content level of the soil. That's why I don't recommend it in lowlands.
But Samar, there's a lot of limestone and underwater rivers.
Yeah, but in general, if you plant Dendrocalamus asper near sea level up until, let's say, below 400 meters, it does not grow to 30 centimeters in diameter. You only see that 400 meters up.
How high are your bamboo surrounding your farm? Average height?
35 meters.
That's enough to protect
Yes.
whatever there is.
Yes. It's not the height. It's actually the tensile strength, the living tensile strength of the bamboo columns, the living poles.
So it acts as a wall.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, this is how you want to do the presentation, or you want to continue with the presentation?
Okay.
Yeah.
Processing, planting. Planting muna tayo. I've been planting for so long in Negros Oriental that we've actually changed a lot since 2011. Well, farm gate price before was actually 25 pesos per column, per pole. Now we actually, a year after that I was there, I bumped it to 45. The only reason that I did that is for the farmers to see their bamboo grows as money, time deposited money, the ready to be cashed in when harvest time comes. Because if the price of bamboo poles, farm gate is low, farmers won't put a lot of attention to it. Now we've actually bumped it to the point that it's already farm gate at 75 pesos in Negros. And a lot of the farmers that we have engaged with is actually earning a lot of money right now. Not just with the bamboo, but also with the craft works. Yeah.
Harvest is only during the dry season, because when you harvest during the wet, it's...
No, we actually follow the lunar cycle. Half moon to full moon. The reason that we do that is because the water table in the ground is actually higher. Meaning that the bamboo clumps actually absorb a lot of water and actually dilute the starch content inside the bamboo. So once you harvest it, it's easier to take out the starch. And the starch is the only reason why bukbok, anay, and agay-ay actually attacks the bamboo. If you deprive them with their sweets, there's no reason for them to eat it. Okay, Mark?
Okay, move on to your next segment. Your next segment, your presentation.
Yung sa... Yung sa planting, stocking density. A lot of people say you go with 7 meters apart, but if you're going to do a high production capacity na capability na plantation, we suggest the 5x5. Because you will harvest every month of every year. So the clumps won't get that big. And in terms naman of revenue naman, just imagine, you have 400 per hectare. Multiplied by a conservative na harvest of 6 per pole. But you can actually go to 10, but we stick with 6 para at least it's more realistic to people. Then, you harvest year round. That's actually the 400 times 6, that's the whole year's harvest for 1 hectare. For the poles only. Tapos in terms of dabong naman, you can harvest about 3 to 4 per clump. And that's a lot of food also. Ayun.
Okay, do you have any special message for us before we go into open-end Q&A?
Miguel can actually...
In processing herbs and then we move on.
Processing. There's a lot. You start with the harvesting. That's the part of the processing. Second naman is the cutting. Third is the treatment. Then the final cutting if you want to go into, let's say, engineered bamboo or construction grade materials, slats and whatnot. Ayun. That's why most of my questions is going to be on the open forum. Because all of you have different wants in bamboo. And I will answer, I hope to answer everything.
We are going to open forum now or not yet? You have a special message?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the second part of the presentation, which shouldn't be so long. Okay. Herbie, there's like what I said, there's a lot of technical things about bamboo, and it can take hours. Some seminars take 3 to 5 days. We're just trying our best to compress it, but this part of the presentation is, I wouldn't say more important, but we have to understand why we're not a bamboo country. So if you see the flyer, it says the politics, the business, the future of bamboo. But like what I said at the start in the main slide, these are just our views. We welcome any views, and we hope that eventually the bamboo industry would form. So, politics of bamboo. And last night I was crashing through the presentation. I was on the phone with a lot of lawyers. I was asking them, how strong is an executive order? A lot of people have read over the news, Senator this passes this bill, Senator that passes that bill, Congressman this passes that, fights for this bill. There is no bamboo law in the country. None. Zero. The closest we have is an executive order. And I was on the phone for 3 hours with different lawyer friends of mine. Of course, umabot sa chismis mga usapan, but the basic thing there was, what is an executive order? An executive order is a directive from the president to the executive department to encourage them to do something. The second question I asked, what happens? The only executive order that passed was from GMA's time. When she stepped down, are the departments, is the executive branch under Pinoy and President Duterte obliged to implement it? No. I asked him, what happens if you go to a government department? Uy, ito yung EO, kailangan mo sundan tong EO. Maswerte ka kung papansinin ka. That's really the hard part. Now, what was that EO from President Gloria? She put up a Bamboo Development Council. Is there a Bamboo Development Council? Yes, there is. Aside from that, what was the big one that was supposed to revolutionize the bamboo industry? 25% of furniture requirements of public schools and some government offices were supposed to be using bamboo. It did not take off. The reason being is, they said that 25% bamboo will procure bamboo, but at this price. And it didn't make sense for any of the producers to make it. Can it change? Maybe. And that's why part of the politics also is we are at a currently very unique situation. I don't know if it's because of the politics or the president. You have a Congress that is more or less good with bamboo. Both sides. You have a Senate where usually the bakbakan always is. That's very good with bamboo also. Senator Villar is pushing it. Aside from that, one of the heads of the opposition cannot deny it because his province is one of the prime areas of bamboo. This is Senator Drilon. Why would he oppose it? You have DENR that's looking for quick solutions for the deforestation and the mining. You have DTI that's looking for product. You have Department of Agriculture under new Secretary Dar that's open to bamboo. So will the bamboo law pass? In all honesty, it's early in the game. They still have 2 more years. Chances are yes. But is it everything? No. So we go to politics. The Philippines is rich in natural resources. We all know that since we were kids. They were giving that in social science classes. But the question is the Philippines rich in renewable and accessible natural resources? That's a different question altogether. Bamboo was grown in 5 years. But our local government officials are elected every 3 and president every 6. You think they have time to think about bamboo? Maybe. It's all about land. Who really controls and leads the economy? The reason why I brought this up is because we cannot wait for government. It's not that our government is bad. They have so many other issues, so many problems. We have to take the lead because within their 3 years, 6 years, there's just so much. And it would be unfair to point at them. Can they make things easier for us? Yes. But you still gotta do what you gotta do. Now, I mentioned the thing about land. That is also the problem about bamboo and where politics comes in. They say there's bamboo all over the Philippines. I just came back from Subic. If you go on the main road that goes out to Esitex, you'll see a lot of bamboo there. So nice, so tall. Question is, can you harvest it? No. And a lot of companies also, basically they went bankrupt when they got into bamboo processing. They never secured the supply. The reason being is, most of the bamboo is in public land. If you're in public land, you have to go to the Kagawan, you have to go to the Bantay, you have to go to the captain, you have to go to the councilor, you have to go to this, you have to go to that, you have to go to the NBA. By the time that you had to ask for people's permission and pay, it's really no point. And that's why, to succeed in bamboo, we have to start with the land. And there are regulations in DENR that are very, very clear. To make bamboo economically viable, you have to have a certain scale at the start of bamboo that is controllable and accessible. After you have that, everyone else can benefit. There are very, very few people in the country that control the land. But if they take the lead, the community can follow and benefit. The question here is how to convince them. These are just some examples of some projects we did, some experiences we went through on why bamboo succeeds and fails. It can, but like what I said, a certain point of view. What succeeded today might fail tomorrow, so we always have to keep our watch. 1, no planning or management at all. Bamboo needs to be established with a total end goal in mind from the very start. If you plant bamboo for the sake of bamboo, you might just be surprised when the bamboo plant is big na, because it might not tally. A very classic problem, people planted local bamboo, imported machines from China. The bamboo in China and the bamboo here are different. Machines didn't work. Wrong procurement, which is connected to number one. Planting the wrong species or combination of species can have a devastating effect. Therefore, it is important to choose wisely from a wide variety that is compatible with the actual environment. Recently, I saw an article. We will plant giant bamboo along the riverside. Why are you planting giant bamboo beside the river? It's not gonna grow tall. Why did you choose bamboo? There are tons of other species that are better for riverside. Because the giant bamboo is effective at 400 meters up. If you plant it low, it's not gonna be a giant. Too much information. Everybody talks about the benefits of bamboo, but not much is known on the difficulties one may face. It's important to have the correct information on what to do and what to expect rather than rely on theoretical models. I can tell you, I research on bamboo every day, and the best articles I find are the bad ones. The ones that tell, this is the disaster that happened, this is a lie that happened, this is the trouble that we went through. There was one great article from China just recently, and basically it said that bamboo furniture is really struggling. It can't compete with wood. I loved it. He said the truth. Because once you have the truth, you know how to adjust your business. It was actually a release also from IKEA. And they said that the only thing from bamboo that's moving are the utensils, the trays, this and that, but the furniture can't compete with wood. Is that, I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from bamboo. It's just that, okay, so wood is better because of this, bamboo needs to do this. Now I know what to do. Aside from that, there's a lot of fake news going around. Everyone's a victim of fake news nowadays. Everyone forwards stuff. Whenever someone forwards something, and this was from my son's doctor, always check the references. When you have the references, you have a better picture talaga of who was the source and what was their intention for the article. Improper registration. One of the reasons why tree and bamboo plantations fail in the country is because of a lack of understanding of the legal framework available for bamboo. To avoid unnecessary hidden expenses, it is essential to know what are the responsibilities and opportunities in every form of plantation. If you have a processing plant and you want to get bamboo from the entire barangay, you will probably have to get 10 times more permits and 10 times more time to accomplish this. If it is in private land, however, you just need one permit.